All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do another one using the quadratic formula. And of course, here we have a quadratic equation, degree 2. So the quadratic formula is very appropriate. Remember, again, what I try to impart in class, please try to factor. Factoring is simpler than the quadratic formula if you can get it to factor, or if it even factors. The square root property, completing the square. I try to reserve the quadratic formula as my, okay, if I need to, I'll use it, but if there's another method that I can use quicker, let's do it, okay? But sometimes you just have to use it. Okay, before I use the quadratic formula, I have to put the equation in standard form. So 5x squared plus 2x plus 2 is 0. You with me? Descending order in equal to 0 is standard form, leading coefficients positive. So A here is 5, the front coefficient. The middle coefficient is 2, and the constant coefficient is 2. So here's my legend that I use to plug into the formula. X equals, let's draw my line the whole way across, opposite of B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC, all divided by 2 times A. So opposite of B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC, all divided by 2 times A. Now when I pull this together, I have a negative 2 in front, plus or minus the square root of something, all over 10. Now, under the radical, I have 4, and this is going to become a minus 40, right? Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20, times 2 is a negative 40. 4 minus 40 under the radical is a negative 36. Now, hopefully your brain's clicking in here, and you're realizing that when you have a negative under the square root, you're going to come up with I. And of course, the square root of 36 by itself would just be 6. But because of the negative under the radical, it is 6I. And in the denominator, we have 10. Now, there are 3 terms here. 2 on the top and 1 on the bottom, and to reduce this to lowest terms, what we do has to be able to be done to each term. I can divide each term by 2. When I do, I have a negative 1 plus or minus 3i all over 5. Okay? That is a perfectly correct answer. And sometimes in different courses, when you get a complex answer, they like you to write the answer in what's called A plus or minus BI form. So it's perfectly fine for you to stop right there, but I want you to recognize that this is the same answer if I wrote it as a negative 1/5 plus or minus 3/5 I. Okay? And in later courses, this form may be the form they want your answer in. It's called A plus BI form, where you basically separate them into what's called the real and the imaginary parts. For 1105, I'm perfectly fine here, but I at least wanted to mention this for future courses. Or even, who knows how Course Compass, you know them. You never know how they're going to write something. Okay, we are done.